Hello friends, I'm happy to see you. Today we're going to read a story and it's in a book called Frog and Toad Together. This is a chapter book. I think some of you know about chapter books. I'm going to read the chapter called The Garden. We did some planting of our class grass. This is another garden. It's about seeds. Let's see what happens. The garden. Frog was in his garden and Toad came walking by. There's Frog, there's Toad. Frog is in the garden, Toad is walking by. What a fine garden you have, Frog, he said. Yes, said Frog. It is very nice, but it was hard work. I wish I had a garden, said Toad. Well, here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground, said Frog, and soon you will have a garden. How soon? Asked Toad. Quite soon, said Frog. Toad ran home. He planted the flower seeds. He put them in the earth. Now seeds, said Toad, start growing. Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, now seeds start growing. Toad looked at the ground again. Did those seeds grow? No, the seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head very close to the ground and he shouted, now seeds start growing. Frog came running up the path. What is all this noise? He asked. My seeds will not grow, said Toad. Well, you are shouting too much, said Frog. Those poor seeds are afraid to grow. My seeds are afraid to grow? Asked Toad. Of course, said Frog. Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine down on them. Let the rain fall down on them. And soon your seeds will start to grow. Oh, so Frog knows about what seeds need. We know seeds need the sun. They need the rain. I am not sure Toad knew that. That night, Toad looked out his window. Drat, said Toad. My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark. Toad went out to his garden with some candles. I will read the seeds a story, said Toad, and then they will not be afraid. So Toad read a very long story to his seeds. Did the seeds grow? Not yet. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds. And the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. I see his instrument there. Do you see it? It has a bow. It has strings. What instrument is that? It's a violin. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. What shall I do? Cried Toad. These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole wide world. Then Toad felt very tired and he fell asleep. Toad, Toad, wake up, said Frog. Look at your garden. Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming up out of the ground. At last, shouted Toad, my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow. And now you will have a nice garden too, said Frog. Yes, said Toad. But you were right, Frog. It was very hard work. the end of that chapter. So let's see, those seeds needed the sun, and they needed the rain, and they got some songs and some poems. That's sort of like giving your love and your heart. And the hardest thing of all was the waiting, the patience. But after Toad waited long enough, the seeds grew. That's the end of the story, my friends. See you next time.